everyone. The Greetings from Beyond Radio. I'm your host, Rich Valdez. You may notice my background is somewhat different. I'm back in the 305, Miami, and that was a harrowing 3-night trip, but I made it here safe. So we can be listened to and watched on Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, iHeart, and of course Get Haunted, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Listen Notes, Podcast, Samsung Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Pandora. So if you need to listen to us or watch us, you can watch us on YouTube. So go to YouTube, definitely, and you can watch us there, or Get Haunted, or Greetings from Beyond Radio on Facebook. And but definitely go to YouTube, subscribe, and hit that button. Just go like that, and you're in. Tonight we have part 2 of the cold case that's been going on now for, I'd say, 5.5 years, from what I understand, and a very special team. Trinity investigators of the Paranormal Long Island have been handling this case ever since they made contact with a young lady that was, unfortunately, I think at the age of 16, I may be wrong, and I'll ask our guests when they come onto the show, was tragically killed and dumped. Her body was dumped in this area, and they've been going back ever since. So with no further ado, so that we can actually address this a little bit better, I'm going to go ahead and invite our guests, Kat Maria and Courtney Peterson of Get Haunted, and Trinity as well. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you all?
Fabuloso. How are you?
Well,
Hanging in there.
Yeah.
Okay. We, of course, this is part 2. We already had part 1 already happen, and it was actually very well received. I don't think this has ever been done where we've actually been chronicling all the evidence that you guys have been able to capture over the past, 5.5 years of
yes.
cold case. And this is very, very unique. For the first time, I think that as far as I can see, it's being chronicled on a podcast. And I figured, why not get everybody involved when it comes to helping solve this? Now, not giving too much, but you guys already know who the killer is, or suspect who the killer is.
Yeah.
Yes.
But saying that as well, tragically, it seems that this individual may be going free. But we also need to find a way to send this soul. Go ahead and give us just a little synopsis, background on this case, and then where you guys are going to be at when it comes to the videos that we will be profiling here on Greetings from Beyond Radio tonight.
Okay, so we have 3 videos. I believe, Courtney, where did we leave off again? Courtney. Anyway, so she's not hearing me. Okay, so I think we lost her. Look at that. It's began. I'm telling you, it's began, Rich. It's began.
It's been a day.
I mean, the mayhem before we started. Whenever it's about this case, it's mayhem. So
we got
I'm not sure where we left off now because she told me, but I was too busy trying to get those videos to you because I worked overnight last night. So madness. But in any event, we went, as you know, we went to this site to debunk folklores. Just to give quick go over to debunk folklores and
urban legends as well.
Urban legends that were getting like the telephone game. One group of kids would say, if you beep your horn 3 times, this lady, of course, it's always the lady in white, and she's going to push your car. And then the other one, if you blink your lights 3 times, she'll push your car. The car has rolled there. I took a ride over there. There is an angle.
From Beth Brownies. Hello, I will have to go back and see part 1 after this. Yeah, definitely. catch that on YouTube anytime. And
Right.
Jen will get that information on the ticker down below.
Thank
Continue,
you.
Kat.
Right. So, long story short, you get what I'm saying. There's like story after story where how the incident, in some cases there wasn't even a incident on record, but the ones that do have incident records, they took these stories because the kids want to have fun, they drink, and as I told you, there's been some tragic stories right after that, sometimes during it. So I went there to set the record straight. I went there to set, just go, and I was doing a full detailed documentary piece by piece, because remember, Courtney and I are not from that county, Martha, Brissau. So I don't know as much about it, but I started learning, and I was like, okay, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. Don't do. And then I was trying to explain the dangers, and like I said, really quickly, it was an average night there, which is unusual because it can get crazy there. And I saw the dark on dark. And as I told you, I know that means message. Don't run. Find out what that is. Pray and stay. Pray and stay is a good, And that's when I saw the flash visions, and the flash visions turned into captures. And then a year down the road, Courtney's research found out that my visions and the captures turned out to be an actual real girl. And we've been on it ever since. So I believe, Courtney, I was trying to ask you, where were we exactly last?
Where did we leave? I'm sorry, I had no sound and I had to come back in. I didn't know what was this.
Yeah, we get it.
Where did we leave off? Is that way from the last time? Is that what
correct.
you were saying? Oh, absolutely. That is basically all the ways that they could stop us from telling and helping Catherine, which is happening tonight as well.
So in light of that, so what Courtney's right, it started, we couldn't even get on, and that was all of us. I told you about this case, and Rich, I saw your message to me. Yeah, you are definitely getting some pickup. You are definitely getting some pickup on the place, because that sounds about right. There's helpers, and then there's the collector. Yeah, I call them collectors, or you know what I'm talking about. So there's so much. There's pushback on every location when you're trying. There's always the battle of good and evil. Every culture calls it something else. That's what we call it. But every culture recognizes the balance. Okay, and it happens in every case. But this location, this one, oh my God. Like, this one is powerful. This one, and I gave you the backstory with the Native Americans. Like you'll leave there retrieving information, and you are getting it, but you have to go home, go over the review, and the visions have to make sense. You know what I mean? Like, so it takes a while. But this one, when you leave, literally, and I'm a New York girl, I've been in fights. Okay, it feels like a long even to even, if you know what I mean, when you get in a fight with somebody who knows, and when you're done, it has that feeling like that, like, whoa, that's what kind of battle it feels like when you go in there, simply just trying to get justice for this child. And she was 14. She was 14.
Shout out, by the way, to Jennifer Bailey, and if our lovely producer Jen can put up the other people that are saying hi and they're watching.
Sorry, I can't see. I apologize.
I know, I'm trying to see, and my glasses are not helping me.
I brought mine.
But hi, everybody.
Spiker gloves, Kat.
Oh, that's you know why I have these on. You know what I brought with me today. We talked about it in the last.
Spectral Paranormal says hello.
I still can't see. I'm so blind. Hi.
Suncoast Films, mind you, I'm blinder than all of you.
Hi, Suncoast.
Hello.
Yeah,
I think that's Sean Daniels.
just wanted to shout out all the people that are listening in. Yeah, Kat and I had quite an extensive conversation, I think the night before I left to start coming back to Miami, and came across a lot of things that matched up with things that I and Jen have already tussled with, and not naming the location, but Robert, the Clydesdale centaur that he is,
Hi,
showed
Todd.
us a. Oh, you got that one, Todd Askew. How are you doing, Todd? Good to see you. He shared a picture
Mm-hmm.
with us, and I was never able to send that pic over to you, but I will. And it was at the location that we were investigating, and Jen did get possessed there.
Oh,
And it was
yes.
I remember you
actually,
talking about that.
That was crazy.
it was a horned figure standing 8 feet tall, and it had hind legs, and it was so weird because that's what was described by the 2 psychic mediums that saw it, and the demonologist that decided to say, where, right here,
Yeah.
and start, why don't you mess with me, buddy? Come on, big guy, and all that stuff. That's why the next day, Jen ended up getting possessed because he decided to provoke it. Needless to say, ironically, this same figure has been seen by numerous people in the same area.
Wow.
And we're in your area where you guys investigate, from what you told me. You sent me.
I sent you some. That wasn't the best description, but it was in the area.
Yeah, and that is something that we often have learned in the paranormal field and also in demonology. A lot of times demons or other spirits that are much higher. Hello, Paul Richardson.
Hi,
How are
Paul.
you?
Hi, Paul.
I know Paul. Hi, Paul. We tend to.
Hi, Krista.
We've already come to the conclusion that oftentimes what happens is these higher ups end up using human spirit's energy to actually gain strength and come. And Kat and I started tossing around the theory that that's more than likely what's going on here. But what's interesting is the history behind this creature. It didn't come from below, where a lot of people always think demons come from. They're not below.
No, they're not. No.
You know,
Reading is fundamental.
Yes, if people were to pay attention, on that day when Lucifer and his angels fell to earth, not hell, earth, that is something we need to look out for. Now, the Native Americans, according to what you told me, Kat, they saw something fall from the sky to earth, not
like
hell.
A bright light.
Like a bright light. And ever since then, that area of land that you guys investigate in has had these issues. No Native American tribe will stay there. In fact, they warn other Native American tribes not to, and they even warned the white people, but white people were stupid.
Yeah, we had to find out the hard way, like the putzes that we were back then. We had to find out, instead of just listening to people who are so deeply connected to nature, they gave it a roll,
So, we're beginning to piece the puzzle of this very, very diverse investigation, little by little. The more we share, the more we find out, and we may be able to finally let this spirit free. Hello, Jenny Davis.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
And I want people to understand this is why we're here. We're here to not only have Kat and Courtney present the case they've been working on and give us information. By the way, we have 3 videos that we're going to be sharing with you tonight that you guys need to watch. And if you have any questions, just put it in the chat, and our lovely producer Jen will post it up for our guests and myself to look over, and then we'll go from there. So, what? Why don't we do that now and start off with video number 1?
Okay.
And I'm going to give Jen a few seconds to put that one up, and then you guys can segue into explaining what the video is all about. So, Jen, whenever you're ready, go right ahead and post away.
Which girl? Actually, it could even be serial killer. That there are many more girls.
So get ready for this because it's not from the Paravox. You're going to get a disembodied voice right next to Courtney as she's about to speak to someone on the live. Check this out.
Thanks, Rob. I'm sorry.
All right, Courtney, you seem to really be connecting with Rob, it seems.
No, she's that. What I was saying is that she's talking to somebody on the live. She's just answering him. That's Rob from Suffolk County Paranormal that she's talking to, because she also is doing some moderating, and out of the blue, that happened. I don't know also if you heard after Dumped Me what it said. It was pretty foul. It was quick.
No, it was, I guess, that quick.
Said
Courtney,
echo.
how did you feel when that was going on?
To be honest, I don't have really any feelings. Like, I don't feel anything while I'm there, I mean, except natural reactions. Hearing all the captures, it's just heartbreaking. And that the spirit is trying to reach out. It's just, to me, it just makes me want to do more. That's how I wanted to become at first I didn't want to be an investigator at all. And then once started listening to the captures, I wanted to do something. Now with Catherine, there's always been something, and the captures, maybe the injustice of the whole thing, I won't give up. I mean, we won't give up.
Right. And Spirit knows, like, because there's been some captures, I don't have them today, but there's been some captures that kind of indicate that Spirit knows her role. They know Courtney's role. They know she's doing the paperwork. She's doing some legwork. She's getting the things, kicking. And I think they know, even though she doesn't feel it, because the way the responses are coming, it's like they go to her for something different than they go to me. They go to me like, help, pray for me, help. And with her, it's more like, you hear the word court sometimes, and they're not saying her name. Court is involved with this. You hear things like that, to that nature, when Courtney's being spoken to or Courtney's being communicated. I don't know what the tears are or where that came from, but that was loud and clear. Also, very quickly at the end of that, right after it says dump me, take a listen. It's pretty vile. And I told you it likes to taunt me because I don't like kids. I can assure you, I do not. This is my next shirt for the part 3, okay? I don't know if you can see it, but I don't like people who hurt kids, okay? All right? And I think it knows that. So it says some pretty disgusting things. Yeah.
Do you feel that the because I don't want to play that video one more time just to see if we can catch what it says at the end, but do you feel, because we both know, or all three of us know, and most of our viewers now, that the perpetrator or the alleged perpetrator is not dead? So who do you feel is coming through?
Well, that's the type of energy that gets provoked around there. So, and I always said this, I've been on cases where I've picked up on the energy of somebody who isn't dead. If you are not a nice person, I suggest everybody cleanse it when they buy a new house, because if you had one jerk in that house, even if he's alive, I believe in energy. That energy can stick. And he's not the only bad guy that's been there. We have a bunch of cases. There's even a second girl, but we're not up to talking about that yet. So I think that the energy of his filthy, vile. Did you just burp? I'm sorry.
No, you just have balloons coming out of you. I have no
I didn't do
idea.
that. I saw them. I was just ignoring. But
I was like, why is
balloons.
Cat
You
has
didn't do that?
No,
Jen
no.
didn't do that?
I don't think
My
she would.
hands.
It's like hands free.
Look, I
Wow.
challenge what's coming through to do it again.
I don't
One
know how
more
to do
time.
that.
Come on, I thought the balloons were really pretty, so by all means.
Who was that?
Light.
This is what's
Hey, Jen,
stopping. So back to what we were
just
saying, Kat.
to verify, I need Jen to come on and say, no,
Hands
I
up.
didn't.
What was that? What?
I've been sharing out the live.
Oh
Thank
my
you. I
Okay.
appreciate you so much.
Oh my God.
So
Share it, can't
my
share.
hands have been here.
Did you see the balloons?
Wow.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
like
so
all.
That's
that
insane.
just came up, and I promise I'm gonna put my hands right here on the table.
Yeah, I've been here.
I don't even know how to do
Yeah,
it.
my hands, my phone's away. I'm on my phone, not a computer, so my phone is away from me. My hands are here, and this is another way of that we believe that they come to try to stop us from getting the message across from helping Catherine.
Yeah,
'cause
by the
that
way,
was,
There's
we're
no
distracted.
coincidence.
We're distracted now. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is why. That's why we're trying to bring it back.
all day long, myself,
Who is
Jen, Kat as well, even Courtney earlier in the show couldn't hear us or anything, and she had to boot herself off and then get back on.
Yeah, and before
So
I had my volume kept shutting off. I don't know why. I patted it on and it was turned around. It was off. Turned around. It was off again.
all right, well, you know what? The investigation continues.
Yeah.
Even while we're doing the show. So I guess I should expect to see or feel something in this condo of mine tonight.
I
That
got
should be
the
interesting.
knot.
Be careful. Yes.
Oh, honey, don't worry about it.
Oh, I know. I know. It's just it's a normal day. Not your
Yeah,
first rodeo.
Rich is a pro at this. He's
Yes.
been down this, but yeah, that brawling feeling is. If you came, you'd know what I'm talking about. It literally feels like an even to even long fist fight. One of those long ones where nobody's winning. And then finally somebody breaks it up, and you're like, whoa. Yeah, it feels like that. And just for the
So,
record, I don't get in fights anymore. I'm an adult. I was talking about when I was a kid. That's childish. That was a long time ago. Yeah.
quick, Jen, if you could show that video one more time, and everyone pay attention to the last part of the video.
Right after he said, right after you hear in the first section, dumped me. Right, second after that.
Okay.
Which girl? Actually, it could even be a serial killer. That there are many more girls.
Yeah.
So get ready for this because it's not from the Powervox. You're going to get a disembodied voice right next to Courtney as she's about to speak to someone on the live. Check this out.
Thanks, Rob. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Did you
I
hear
didn't
it?
hear it.
It's
No,
not at the
but,
end. It's not at the end. It's at the end of dump me. It's really quick. It's not. It's like the first part, and you'll hear F me.
all right. Well, if anyone, oh yeah, okay. Well, she heard it. I guess someone in YouTube did.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Okay, so here's the deal. Is this where this location is it heavily wooded?
Hi,
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay, so it's heavily wooded, but is it near a road?
yes. Oh well. That side is pretty, maybe some tiny back roads, but that side is pretty barricaded. The south side is closer to a road. That side where we're standing, it's kind of residential, you know, the section we're in, you know, very back roady. There is one person who lives up almost in there, you know, but when they drive, people don't realize when they drive all the way up, they're out, but they're right on the border. They know us. They actually know us. They see us so much. The lady waves to us because she knows we're not disrespectful. We don't go onto her side, you know.
So does she bring out cookies and
No,
Kool-Aid?
no. She can't stand all these people doing this, but she knows us because we don't, you know, we're not children, you know, leave her alone, you know.
Right. Okay. So, what do you feel? Do you feel you guys are getting closer to the answers that you're looking for? Do you even know what answers to be looking to? What
Yes.
to answer the questions you
Yes.
have?
Absolutely.
Because, from my understanding, this guy's a suspect. He's, from what I understand, he's been let go. But what was it that? Let's talk a little bit now about the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator. We really can't say for sure, but I have a feeling this is the guy.
Mhm.
How do you think he just got off even having to answer any questions when it came to his involvement in this young girl's life?
Okay, I'll start that and then I'll hand it over to Courtney. How do I think? Can you repeat that question so I get it right? I want to get that right.
How do you feel that any answer would fit any question that would point the finger at him?
Oh,
then,
okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay, so he's in the. I don't think it's called a CODIS. He's in the system already. His information, his DNA, all that is in the system already because he's a piece of crap. He's a tier 3 sex offender. Okay, he's already a piece of crap. So he's in. Excuse my French. I really don't like him. So talking about him kind of fires me a little. So. The main objective, what we were trying to do, he was incarcerated when Courtney discovered him. Okay, he was incarcerated, and unfortunately for us, we get a lot of cases. Even in there, there's other cases. That is not our only case in there. It's the primary one, but it's not our only case. So we, you know, as a a team, functioning team, residential team, and all this, we're moving. So we try to get there when we can. And what Courtney was doing was she was keeping up on the parole. Okay. She was making sure he was, not going to get out or whatever and such. And we were caught up in, I believe at the time, a residential. And it was, there was a 13-year-old girl involved. So we were trying to really clear that place and find out what the hell was going on. And we did. But point being, we were busy. Okay. And out of the blue, I start seeing our girl again. I'm not asking for her. I'm not, I know my thing is Courtney's keeping up on that. We're going to get there when the weather's a little better. That's it. Okay. And now I'm getting that clairaudience. I'm starting to hear things. Kat, help me. I know her voice at this point because I've been there so many times. And then I get things in my ear like movie pictures, but it's like the audio part, and I'm hearing like it sounds like this. If I were to give the expression in the way I heard it, I'm old enough. You know what I mean? Like a kid would, and I'm like, what? And then I called the team and I said, listen,
Hi, Leanne.
Hi, sweetheart. I said, I don't know what's going on, but we got to get back on Kathy and we got to drop everything. We got to get back on Kathy now. And I don't know why. So that probed Courtney to immediately start making phone calls, which she couldn't get through to anyone. Go ahead, Courtney, and you'll see the aggravation that came with that.
I tried calling. I called the police department in the area of where she was found. They told me that I had to call Central Records to find out about the homicide. From there, since it is a cold case, I had to call there. I called there. They would tell me I would have to call back to this person, speak to another person. It would go on back and forth
Oh,
I don't
Courtney,
know how
wait
many.
up.
I don't know what.
But
Real
Courtney,
quick.
wait, go backwards because you have
I'm
to go
sorry.
back to.
Cat,
I'm
hold on.
sorry. Time out. Good question. I think he's trying to say, do the authorities know what y'all are doing or trying to assist you?
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll get to that.
we'll
We'll
get
get to that.
yes,
Yes, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yes, but I would just
absolutely.
like to go backwards because the part.
Just thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah, we are going to get to that. We will, and the answer is yes, but there's roadblocks. So Courtney, we were. I also wanted to mention to you, Rich, that during that time that was happening with me, Chris called me, Chris Paranormal from the team, and he said, Kathy's showing up because he does a lot of sessions. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm upstate and Kathy's showing up. Now, this was at the same time that was happening with me. So then Courtney did what she does. And she started making phone calls about before you were trying to get through that paperwork, Courtney. Remember, you were trying to find out what's going on with him. And that's when we got the news about him. But it didn't happen overnight. She kept saying, I can't get through to them. I wonder why. And then she put, again, sweet Courtney put a message in, and I'll let you know what you tell them, because go to that part first, because that they don't know. You know what I mean? They don't know.
We haven't gotten there either. But going back and forth with the police department, the central records, I had to put in what they call a FOIL. It's a Freedom of Information law, where you can get information from a case or anything like that. I'm going to get to everything, Kat, but like talking about pushbacks and everything like that, for a year, it just wouldn't work. I would try the website wouldn't work. I tried making phone calls, they would tell me, go to the website. I would go back and forth to the police officers. I mean, going back and forth.
2 stations, back and forth like ping pong.
Yes, between the regular police department and central records. I would go back and forth and trying for a year. And finally, I speak to somebody, and it was around actually this time. And they had said, oh, the computer system's been hacked for a year. No wonder why we haven't gotten anything.
It took them a year to realize that their whole system had been hacked for a year.
They did not even reply. Some person I got on the phone. So I'm like, you're telling me that every person I've spoke to within the last year has told me go to the website. Meanwhile, I'm doing that and I'm not getting anything, but you're the first person that's telling me in a year that the website's down. So that's a year that I wasted.
Correct. A year. And now tell him the part when he was away, when I was picking up on him and Chris was getting captures.
Yes.
Because this was the part that really got us.
Before that, I just want to cover everything quickly. Before that, I finally had gotten to send in the report. I did it by what's it called? I mailed it in. Now, we didn't know anything, everything that was going on. We had gone away for an investigation, and then I come back and I get a denial letter from, get this, from the Central Records that they couldn't give me information because it's an active case.
That blew my mind. No, it is not.
Now, if it's an active case, how is it, if it's a cold case, how is it considered an active case?
When was this girl found?
Mid-70s. We don't want to give an exact date where we live, but mid-70s.
Mid-70s, okay.
Rich.
How is that an active case?
Exactly. So then they told me to go to the medical examiners, and it just being pushed and pushed to the side, and I just didn't give, Kat had said, at that time, she knew I was getting frustrated, and it was just insane. And I was like, what else? But I kept going. And I don't know if it was a voice in my head. I don't know, whatever it was. And it was a push. And then we went away and we did a session on the way home.
Yeah.
And
Where she was found.
where she was found.
Yeah.
And,
different spot.
you know, we got some of the replies. Now that was even not working right. There were setbacks with that. But anyway, so I get home and I don't know why, like this is, I call the PO again. So for a year now, also for a year, I was not able to get in touch with his PO, the alleged suspect. Every time I would call, there was no answer. There was nothing, you know, they don't have answer machines. They don't call back, you know, they can't, I guess maybe not make phone calls back. So they weren't even know I was calling. So I get back and I call and I finally reach somebody and they said, oh, he's been paroled.
And
I was
the
like,
way
what?
she texted it to us, just so you know, Courtney went rogue. Courtney,
I was like,
sweet Courtney went rogue. I was like,
I can't
what?
even imagine. Like, I mean, this whole time trying to work and to get in touch with his PO, to get in touch with maybe the board, look into this case, see what's going on. But no. And he got paroled. Now, we do have a capture, and which also the first capture kind of goes in with this because it says Catherine wants him to go to I forgot what it said. Catherine wants
That
him.
one we just put up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I put it in there. Yeah, because it says Catherine wants him locked and then it gets cut off.
Locked, and
up.
then it says court.
Court,
You know,
yeah.
locked to go to court. So with that, but then when Kat was going over the evidence from that day that we did the session, now we
Right.
did not know, and we have proof of when we went away and when that session was and when he was paroled. It says, hurry up. The capture says,
Yeah.
hurry up, he'll be free.
Yeah. He'll be gone. He'll be gone.
He'll be gone.
Is that one of the videos?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's in there. Hurry, he'll be gone.
I did send it to I sent it to Jen the first time. I don't know. I think I sent it to Jen. I'm
Did
not
you?
positive.
So just to put this in perspective, that session that we went to, we just got back from Massachusetts, was that urgency during that time of that urgency where I said we got to get back to Catherine. And we did not know during that session that he was out. We didn't know that. As a matter of fact, he got out the next day. So we didn't know. We didn't know he was out. Courtney was still trying to get in touch with somebody. So we thought we had this, you know, he's locked up. We just want to get the DNA and prove that it's him, you know. And remember, there's a second suspect. So, you know, I'm saying I really think it's him, but there is a second suspect. He's dead now. I know, you know, who he is. He's the torso killer. Okay. You see him on the news, that terrible guy. That was the other suspect. He's not, but anyway, that's off subject. But this guy, his MO, what he did to the girl that he was put in for, what made him a tier 3 sex offender, okay, was detail for detail the same thing that happened to our girl. And remember, I saw that profile.
Real quick question for you too. The answers come through very clearly. Vicky Southall saying hope chat. Sorry she's late.
All right.
The equipment that you guys use, the EVPs come through clear as day. It's not your atypical ghost box because you don't hear a lot of that staticky stuff between. What exactly do you guys, you're using that?
This this session, you're seeing this. I don't know if I'm
A little bit over the other way.
Okay, you're seeing this. Okay, this one is highly approved. I forgot his name because Chris isn't here, but this is the one we used for the session you're seeing. Now there are hundreds of sessions. Chris has all these crazy boxes, you know, the same kind you see like that Nick Groff had. He has all those crazy boxes. We have sessions from that. We have sessions from the Hauntington Radio. I have that. We have sessions from the PSB7, and we have EVP captures. We have gotten responded by every type of equipment there is. We've also had, aside from this one, because that's the one you're seeing in the captures, because that's the session I'm on right now. But there's also Echovox. So we've used everything.
Okay.
And responses.
What's the name of that one device you're holding up and from Catholic Demonology?
This is a tablet, and this
Hi,
is
Sarah.
it's called the Paravox. It's and then what I liked about this is how approved it was. I checked into it because I do have an equipment tech, and they warn you. They actually don't want your money if you're not vexed in the field. There's a whole warning before you start saying, listen, don't play with these, pretty much in their words. It says how you can get an attachment and everything before you use this. Okay. So that's, I'm sorry.
So it's an app, or is it
yes. Yeah. I'll try. Let me see if I can. It's called the Paravox.
The Paravox with a V?
Paravox. Yes. Paravox.
Paravox.
I'm not a big app fan. I have very few of them. So but this one was approved of, if I can remember his name. Oh, it's driving me crazy. I've been asking Courtney. Oh, it's driving me crazy. But Chris knows. And but the warning on it, and it's not like a little cheapy one. You know what I mean? And that tells you right there. You know, but in any event, it tells you stop playing with these. You know, don't play with these. This is not for your average. They don't care if they don't want your money. So that's what I liked about it. And at the time, the reason I put it on is we were having trouble with a device that always works that night. That's the same night Courtney got stung up by bees. So
you already got someone in chat wanting to help. Especially when it comes to missing people. But when it comes to this one particular case, the girl that passed away is no longer missing. Unfortunately, her body was found in this area, which
thank you.
What they're trying to, but they are offering help from Vicky, not for entertainment purposes. So that's basically the warning that you get. And also, we're not advocating anyone using these devices in their own home, as the old saying goes. And I'll say it here because it's my show and we have, you know, the disclaimer: don't shit where you eat. So don't go home and do things there, because you don't know what you're opening up to and what is going to stay trapped in that home and to you. So you also use an echo box as well.
Yeah.
Is that in tow with this machine as well? Or this app?
Yeah, it has a high approval. A lot of people use it. You'll even see it on, you know, certain big names use it. But because it's not words, with the Echovox is it's all different sound. You know what I mean? And it's believed that the spirits can manipulate those sounds into a word. And boy, we have sentences off that thing.
Yeah.
And so, but that's how it works. Just so you know, there's a whole bunch of like a spinner, and you can do it one way, or you can just go straight down. I forget how, you know, it has the banks. It has the banks, and they literally, there's not one vocabulary word in it. It's just you know, and what I do is I rotate the voices. You know, I don't just use one voice. And then I just let go, and whatever happens, happens. Vicky, who was in there, by the way, she knows very well about this case. She's been on all the lives so much that on our other, we have another thing going on at Letchworth Village. Her name has been called at Letchworth Village because we have another little girl named Anne, because, you know, like I said, Spirit knows what's going on because she's done a lot of praying for us. So sometimes I think spirits are very smart, you know. The other one whose name has been said, there's two other people, Tim T-Dog and Jason from Beyond the Grave, because he's a cop and he was the first one to give Courtney advice as to which way to turn for us to get on this case, and you'll hear Jason, officer, you know, you hear, and I'm like, he hasn't even been there yet. He lives upstate by Chris. You know, how does this happen? You know?
Let's take advantage of showing the second video and get people's feet wet. We've had a few new people come in to the show. Yeah, there you go.
I wish I could see them.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I ghetto rigged it
One
today.
thing after another.
That's all right. That's all right. Listen, it's all right.
We just appreciate everybody that's here, you know, watching. Thank you.
Yes, we'll see you after the show.
So, you know, Jen, when you have the chance, could you please play the second video for our viewers, and that way we can get moving in on this case and see if we can find some answers.
Light went back on.
Tell me if the battery charge goes on.
Thank you, Rob.
I pray for your protection so that you can be at peace. We are working on your stories, I promise.
All right, why don't you run us through what was actually going on there?
Okay, so what you hear is you're hearing a lot of help me's, you know, which is what I was telling you about, but you're also hearing a lot of dirtiness about this action, this incident, and kind of like, and that's nothing. It can get disgustingly detailed. You're hearing, you know, words like buttocks and penis, and like I said, I have a little bit of a temper when it comes to that. You know, that's disgusting. And it happens around me a lot. I've had another place, you know, upstate with a little girl, and, you know, spirit telling me she's hot and laughing. And so you're hearing a lot of that in there. You know, you see the words that are in there. And then it's also mentioning, something's telling me that there's hunt that he. Now, I had one of the things I was telling Courtney in the very beginning before we knew who this was is this person was staking the area out, stalking the area out. This didn't just happen. We do have, there is that.
Welcome.
That which turned out to be true. So this person was snooping around. As I mentioned, I think I mentioned on the first show, he originally was peeping through the window. There was a man peeping through the window of her neighbors who also had a 14-year-old daughter and 2 other sisters, but the father chased him out and he never reported it. I have captures regarding that. I didn't get a chance to, I'm so mad about it. I was trying to get that up, but I have a lot of captures about the neighbor. Had he reported that, because he wasn't letting his daughters go out alone.
Hi, Sam.
We don't know where that would have went. So he had a lot of guilt, but you're rich. You're my age. You remember the 70s. They didn't really, you know, you chased the guy off. You told him to go scratch, and you kept your daughters in for a couple of days. It wasn't like it was today. You know, like, I don't know if he's a bad guy for not telling. I think he should have told the neighbors with daughters, you know, hey, there's a creep in the area. I just chased him off. He also really wasn't able to give a good description of this guy, which, you know, kind of like that's because that's the first thing I asked Courtney when she found this out, you know, hey, is there a description of this dude? Remember, Courtney? Yeah,
he was naked and he ran out of what was it, a shack or something like that?
No. He was. These girls were in their home. The girl was doing her homework, and he was in her window dressed in black in her window. It's the creepiest thing ever. And she's like, Dad, there's a guy in the window. And, you know, Dad did what a real dad does. He came out like, hey, you know, he went to go catch him. He was gonna brawl, you know, and he went to go catch him, and the guy just jetted. It's almost like he knew the route. They have the route. I have a picture of it. I guess I can't send it to you, but I have a picture of the story about it. But we have so many captures. That's why I was asking Courtney, but we just didn't have time to find it. You know, neighbor effed me, meaning not sexually, effed me over.
But screwed her over.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know,
like
if she
so
told
much with the neighbor, and there's so many captures about the neighbor that at first we didn't know until there you go with Courtney again. She found that story, and I was like, oh, I said, Courtney, I've been going over the audio. That makes so much sense. That now I know first I'm like, did the neighbor do it? And then when she said that, I was like, oh my God. In other words, if the neighbor would have just.
What comes to mind, Kat, and this is what I'm thinking, you know, if this is something that happened during the 70s.
Granted, you know, you and I both were not, you know, spring chickens either.
No.
But to find family that was living in that area, still living there today, and ask them, even if you guys wanted to ask them questions, more than likely they're not even alive anymore. They moved, and there's different families there. So how do you actually? My question would be, how would you guys go about finding out if there were possible witnesses to these things that were going on around this time?
Okay, so that's where we're trying, because here's the thing, we're still trying to protect the family. There's a sibling that's still, you know, like, you don't forget these things, and she's still in that, so it's very fragile. So that's where we're trying to go through the law. Good question. Courtney will tell you what's going on right now, and whoever asked earlier if the police are involved, go ahead, Courtney.
So I finally, going a little backstory quick, is I finally, when I got the letter that they couldn't do anything, somebody had advised me that to call back the precinct where she was found. So I did so, and I spoke to somebody in homicide.
Okay.
And now that was a trip because, you know, people were passing the buck. Nobody was listening. Finally, I was like, listen, this guy is going to be out. He's out of jail. Who knows if he's going to be out, which he's again out from where he was. And he moved somewhere else now. But they had told me, and I'm working with them now still. The detective that I talked to, he got authorization from his boss to look into the case.
It's open. Now it's
So-
actually open.
How old would this perpetrator be?
70.
Oh, he's in the 70s.
70, no older than 71.
I highly doubt, unless he's still an athlete condition, he'd be.
He is.
Still,
He is.
He is.
Oh yes.
Well,
May I just say, I have a motorcycle. Okay. I know guys who ride. I know guys in their 70s that still look amazing and ride the country. Okay. So I don't trust this guy. Now, he was in worse shape when he first got arrested. He's jail ready. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the pen for a while, and he looks like it. I took a good look at him. He looks like it. He is not unhealthy.
Okay.
So
he definitely, and would he do it again? I there's not a doubt in my mind, you know,
Well,
and that's what
goes away. Yeah.
no.
you know, he was released because I keep tabs and like I did with his parole. Then he was put on parole. I got in touch with his parole officer. His parole officer told me where he was staying. Because of that he is a sex offender, they have to let the public know. So I found out where he was staying. I tried getting into the touch with his parole officer again, and she was no longer his parole officer. He got a new one. So from there, I got in touch with that parole officer, and He told me he can't give me much information, but he moved, and
Yeah.
he's no longer in that one locate. He's no longer in that one state. He's out of another state.
Right.
So, yes. So when I think what also got the homicide detective to finally listen to me was when I was telling him he's moving. He's not in jail. You know, he's already been out from within 6 months, released from prison in a halfway house, and now in a different state in looks like a private residence.
So
Okay.
here's my question: what ties this perpetrator to the girl that you girls are making contact with?
I got it. Okay. Okay. So when he committed the crime, approximately 10 years after our girl passed, the prosecutor on the case took a dive into him and realized, because it was also in another state, he keeps bouncing, you know, shady dude keeps bouncing. So, and he's the pillar of the society, by the way, where he lived, aren't they always? And so the prosecutor started looking into him and was outright convinced by looking at her case, our girl, in comparison to the case he was being charged to, that he should really be looked into for this. But he is, and I know these guys because I'm from Long Island. He's a brat. He's a brat, and there's some money, and he had a good lawyer. Okay, he's and the lawyer. The response was actually snarky. If I repeated the words, I'm just going to get mad, but I'll do it for you. The prosecutor's response while he was being snarky was, "What do you think? I'm responsible for every dead girl in Long Island?"
Not the prosecutor, his lawyer. His lawyer said that.
Right, but that's coming from him because
Yes.
okay, so it's very snarky, very unempathetic, very apathetic, just a very get away from me with that nonsense, response. So what I did, so that's the first thing that connects him. The other thing is there was a man, we have the book, we can't hold it up, it's a dead giveaway. There was a man who was doing books on cold cases, and he made friends with the detective at the time on this case here. And from beginning to end, and I'll show you the book after the show, but from beginning to end, by the time they finished with all the information he got, it's funny because I didn't know any of this at the time, and neither did Courtney. It turns out he came to the same conclusion of the same guy and hates him and is convinced that he did it. The other thing I noticed is the way the new girl, the girl who survived, thank God, because she wasn't supposed to survive. He was coming back to kill her. Okay. She got out. Okay. I almost fell, and people, this is a really hard thing. You would understand this, Jen would understand this, but I was trying to explain this to Courtney. When I saw the way the victim who survived described him, I gasped, because that's exactly the same feeling I got in the vision. He's yucky. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not saying it to be biased because I don't like him. He's the kind of guy who gives you the creeps. You know what I mean? He gives you that, ugh, and she described him that. And, it's hard to explain. There's people that, you get around and you're like, ugh, and that's him.
You get, yeah.
He's creepy. He's creepy.
Now, to also go back to what you had said, like what ties him to her, like they had said, the way that and without giving too much information or being graphic, but the way that she was tied up, Catherine,
Yeah.
was identical to the way the surviving victim was.
Gotcha.
And that's why the prosecutor looked in and was looking into different cases and came, I guess, across Long Island, was like, I have a case that's very similar, you know, even down to like how she was tied up is the same exact way as your girl.
Yeah, it
Now,
was his
what?
it was his MO.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how, you know, and going back to your original question, you know, like how didn't they capture him, or how didn't they, you know, do anything? I think it's just everything. I think just everybody's just dropped the ball. No
Yeah.
matter that they had the guy or alleged guy, you know, there was no DNA at that time, or it was just starting to come around about. So there was not to even match. And his lawyer, going back what Kat was saying, how his lawyer was and manipulate, like he was, even after his charges, after the physical proof from the other case, like
Deny.
they tried to not, yeah.
Total denial.
So
It's
I
her
think
fault. It's her
that,
fault.
yeah, I just think that a combination with everybody, that they just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And it's really sad.
Really dropped the ball. The case, in my opinion, was closed. All they had to do, and this was our goal in the beginning, all we were trying to find out is there, because there was a fire in Suffolk County at one of the buildings a long time ago. Is there anything left? If there's, I can tell you right now, what they found on the scene, if they still have evidence, which they should have, because they have evidence older than that, where cases have been solved. If they have that, they can match it to someone, especially if they're in the CODIS, if they're in the, in the system. The two suspects he's one of them. All you have to do is see if he's in there. And boom, they'll get him.
Here's my thing though. If they don't have his DNA, and let's say he pulls this off one more time, how are you gonna actually bring it back to it being him, other than the knots and the ties and the style of tie? What if he decided to change that, and all the time that he spent in prison, and they don't even have DNA?
Well,
I'm sure
okay. So that he could change it now, but he didn't change it when he was charged the second time. So this doesn't look good for him already, because you have the two identicals. He might change it now. He's probably looked into everything. According to what the somebody in law enforcement told Courtney, right now he's still a little bound to the law. He's not totally free. So what was that they said to you, Courtney?
Well,
we all know,
he's still on parole. He's going to be on.
Not that part. The part where they said, "Oh yeah, they always repeat. Tier 3s always repeat." So
Yes.
right
Well,
when
I
they get
think
off,
that he'll probably go back into prison.
so we got to wait for him to hurt another girl. That's basically what we're hearing, right? Isn't that what we're hearing?
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because basically, if they didn't have DNA advanced back then, they wouldn't have any DNA to match with him now, unless they keep something. I would imagine they keep his DNA in prison if they're smart enough, but they weren't smart enough the first time.
Not
So
that.
they let him. So here's my thing: is I think that but I'm sure he's going to do this again. Matching it up with this perpetrator is going to be a little bit more easier, and also still somewhat, they kind of drop the ball.
Okay, so that's when my research kicked in. As of now, anybody who's in prison has to provide blood work. That is the law. It's not, there's no grandfather's clause because you got arrested in the 80s. If you're in, they have to take you. So they do have every single person who's been arrested and put behind bars, they have your blood. Okay.
Good.
So there might be seminal fluid, there might be something. So that's I'm not worried about. I'm more worried about what they have in evidence.
Real quick from the chat from Sam's Pretty Paranormal. That tickles me. The justice system works sometimes. Another girl would have to be hurt or lose her life to wait when it can already be stopped. And you know what? That's where we're all at. right
That's
there
where
with
we're
you.
at.
Exactly. And that's why I keep telling this detective that I'm speaking to try to get his attention. Like, I understand you have current cases, live, current cases that are going on, but we still have a case that was not solved, and the killer is potentially still out there that can still do something to another person.
Yeah.
And even if you could just look, I need eyes, just look. Was it tested? What was he was a suspect, but like, we don't know. There are certain things that we don't know. Like, why was he cleared?
Yeah.
If by chance that it's not him, which I highly doubt, what happened, at least then we can go move forward.
Right.
This girl is screaming for justice every which way. And, we are just trying to keep finding out answers and helping her, giving her that voice that she deserves, the justice, trying to get that justice that she deserves as well.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is a call to everyone that's in chat right now listening in. If you have some expertise or some career that could actually help these two young ladies here to find the truth, please, by all means, contact us, or there's an email down below that you can contact our producer over,
PR.
and show information over to them.
Thank you.
Because I'm telling you, and all help that we can get from all of you, because I'm sure there's some of you that are already involved in the authority when it comes to police authority, and
or just even maybe the wording.
Yeah.
If you're in law enforcement, that's what I've asked a couple of people too. Like, what words can I use to get attention?
We had that conversation, Courtney. Yeah, because what I did, I was just going to get on that. What I started doing on my end is I started studying criminal cases. I started studying. That's how we found out that every detective has a section of cold cases. So we changed the wording around. So I was studying that. I was studying, like, how do we get through to these people? How did they get through to these people? Because there are some very old cases that have been solved now. The other thing I started doing is, and again, this is Courtney and I working together, is when he moved to this other state now, we found out some information about that. He previously had family members who lived there. So what I did is I pretended on YouTube to be somebody who wants to move there and looked into the county. Okay, so there was this guy giving all this information about that county where he lives. And to find out, kind of where he lives is right in that half and half split. So one side is like people who are building new houses. It's starting to develop and everything. And then another side is a side they say, don't go over there. There are very unfortunate people there, including young girls. Then the other way, there's terrain. And guess what this guy's profession is? I can't say the title, but he's involved with, something to do with botany. He knows the terrain really well. And because his family member was there before he got arrested, he's been there. He knows the area. See, so I'm looking at everything. So I figured, how could I really find out the details about this area? Let me pretend I want to buy a house there. Let's see. Because they tell you, this is the bad side, this is the good side, this is what's going on. There's a lot of work there, da-da-da-da-da. And I found that out. But I also got together with Courtney about words. There's certain words. I know that from being in the medical field. There's certain words that get people moving, that'll make them do something.
Real quick, let's get in the third video playing, and then we can go ahead and commentate on that as well and see if we can get more information out there for our viewers and listeners. So hold on, our producer is going to get that video up right now.
It feels real close and I don't like it. Is that what you girls are afraid of? That energy I'm feeling right now? Is that what it is? Oh man, it's here. Why are you hiding? You leave those girls alone, okay? In the name of Jesus, you leave them alone. Okay? Said puke. I heard that. You leave those girls alone in the name of Jesus. It's my God. I don't understand. I know I look crazy saying that, but it's something here. I remember that. Okay.
All right, I'd like for Jen to play that one more time. I just want to make sure I heard something right.
Okay. It feels real close, and I don't like it. Is that what you girls are afraid of? That energy I'm feeling right now? Is that what it is? Oh man, it's here. Why are you hiding? You leave those girls alone, okay? In the name of Jesus, you leave them alone. Okay? Said puke. I heard that. You leave those girls alone in the name of Jesus. It's my God. I don't understand. I know I look crazy saying that, but it's something here.
All right, did it actually say it's awfully haunted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why would it say that?
I don't know.
Obviously, I mean, duh, you know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think if you hear Kat in the in that section, that last section, Kat had said, she's trying to describe how she was feeling. She's like, she's like that she might be looking crazy, like how she's feeling and trying to describe it. And then it responded to her, it's awfully haunted there. Like what she's picking up on. That's what I'm thinking.
You can clearly hear it's a male voice.
Yeah.
And which one is this? Because I would imagine you guys have a long list of names of, spirits that have come through. Which one would this one be?
There's a male that's actually, I would say, or a male's energy that's actually nice.
Okay.
And then there's a jerk, and I don't know to put a name on him yet because we have several of them. It's so thick with layers there that I can't tell. One's an uncle. One calls him.
That's a good question, and we have some theories on that. By the way, Crystal Rowe is asking if the main suspect is still alive. Who do you think this is trying to stop you from helping solve this? And Kat and I have a theory on this, and I think Kat, you should take the lead on this because we were discussing it earlier. But go ahead, you take it this time as to one of the perps that is. We never expected this. Kat's gone now.
Of course. Of course, this is.
Yeah, I mean, it's been you 2 times before, and now it's Kat's turn because Kat was going to give us the answer. You see, this is how these spirits love to just jump back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, there's been a lot.
This is the way the pushbacks that we talk about, and people say sometimes, is it I think it's too First of all, I really don't believe in coincidences. And I think it's too coincidental that every time we try talking about her and giving her justice and bringing out anything, this stuff happens.
Welcome back.
Hi. Yeah, go figure, right? But what I wanted to tell you is where you hear puking and drinking, Courtney, do you remember why that's being said? No. Okay. So it had to do with me and Chris.
The first time?
No.
No, your first visit, the visit there with the girl.
Yes. So they
That's
know
what I'm
nothing.
saying, Martin. Okay.
They know nothing about that. So
No, I know that, but I'm saying
I'm gonna
that's
try and explain it. Okay. Are you ready for this? Because when you see those captures again, Chris and I were going back there. I believe in regard to her and so many other things that were going on. And I didn't know this, but until the last minute, Chris's friend, who's really good, we've worked with him before. He's like, "Oh, but, Brian's coming." I'm like, "Oh, okay," because it was getting really dark around that time. I don't mean color wise. I mean, it was getting really dark. We were getting a lot of
the energy.
yeah. So I was like, I don't know. I said, and then he said he's with this girl, and I said, Chris, were they hanging out before they got here? And he's like, oh, maybe, and they had one or two. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is probably not the best place to be. It's right by where that ritual was. This is where we were going, right in that area. I said, are you sure?
All right, so,
I said, so
okay.
I'm going to, what?
Real quick. There's a question up on the screen. I don't know if you can see it, but from Crystal Rowe, if the main suspect is still alive, what or who do you think is trying to stop you from helping solve this?
That's
and
fine.
there was
I'm talking about that right now.
okay, but do you think it could be the other thing that we were talking about?
It is that thing. You ready?
That's talking?
It could be. Yeah, there's a very sarcastic, that whole sarcasm with the dirty words about little girls, I think is definitely involved with that. It really, I can't express to you how that agitates me. I try to, keep my composure because I know what it's doing. But yes, it could. So I'm actually talking about that. That's a good question, by the way. I'm talking about that right now. There are a lot of, look what just happened. I got knocked off. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Long story short, so it's really out of my control. I didn't know they were coming. You know what I mean? If it were up to me, I would have said, this is probably not the best night. You guys went out. They were not, just so you know, they were not, visibly intoxicated. They might have had one or two, but you have to come in there without a sip in you. You have to come in there at a place like that with all your senses at peak. You do not go and without personal problems. This is
Right.
not it. Do not and Chris knows this. So they came in and we're standing, there, and we're getting ready to get started. And I start praying about this girl because I got a feeling she's getting hit. You know what I mean? By that thing. And all of a sudden, you ready? So you heard about puking, right? You heard she had a drink. She runs over. And something makes her gravitate over to the area where the rituals are and projectile vomits. And from there on out, because she was with her guy, from there on out, they kind of stayed. But I gave her the opportunity. I prayed over her. She didn't say a word. She just stayed there. And then we prayed again. We prayed out because I was like, oh, that's definitely... She wasn't like she was banging down shots and got sick or anything like that. She told me she had a toll boy, but you cannot go to these places under these circumstances, especially with us with these type of cases opening up, unless you're prepared.
There's a question there, by the way, from Sam. Could it be the negative force that is influencing the main guy to commit these crimes or have committed the crimes in the past? Do you feel that's a possibility?
100%.
Yeah.
If you have a flaw about you or something that upsets you or something perverted about you, and you go there, or the suicidal guy I told you about, and you go there, you really better have some sort of level of faith or something to that nature before you walk in there, because whatever's there is going to escalate it. The only way... Magnify it. Exactly. Magnify it, because the reason that it doesn't happen, with people like me, with us with faith, but it tries something else. It provokes me by saying very disgusting things that I really don't need to hear. I saw the report. I'm not looking to hear things like that. And it's in there and it's vile.
So another statement here being said, very true, Kat. I don't know the entire story of the cold case, but there's possibility if it is demonic, it will be the one stopping the crime to be solved. Now,
Yeah.
we have several theories going on, and we'll get into that as this cold case continues, because this is just part 2 of God knows how many more there's going to be coming to this case, because it's not only definitely we have Trinity Paranormal and Investigations of Long Island. They're entrenched in this for 5.5 years. I'm just coming into this, and imagine the people in chat that are following along now that are just grippingly just biting their nails as we go along talking about this. And
Hi,
we
Wade.
need to really go into this more. Hello,
Wade.
how you doing, Wade? we need to actually blueprint this, game plan it, and then follow through. I even told Kat, and I don't know if Courtney was aware of this, that I think Courtney was still on the phone. You had to go back home. But I'm making plans to go up there to Long Island.
Come on down. Yeah.
Yeah. Or up in your situation.
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're a Southern boy.
But I'll make sure that I'm in a better headspace before
Mindset.
that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
You
But
don't have to worry about me drinking or anything. I can't drink. So
yeah, I don't drink. Those days are
either
long.
way, I'll be there, and we'll have to actually take, I don't know, a weekend excursion to go up there. And I want to stay there longer than just 2-3 hours. I want to take breaks and then go back and see if because you know what, spirits are around us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been there day. We it's not just night. We start off in the day.
Okay.
It's
And
all day.
we go all day.
Yeah.
From the afternoon, from whenever and into the night. It's not just like, nighttime, that's when spirits come. Spirits come anytime they want to communicate. Day, night, in between.
From Vicky Southall, I've been involved and emotionally invested in this too. So I imagine
she has. She is. That's a fact. Yes, she has.
And I think we may be getting a few people together to show up as well. Sam might even show up. My whole heart goes out to this case, such an emotional one, and there has got to be justice.
Yes.
We'll see. Who knows? Sam's pretty paranormal will end up going out there too and trying to assist us as well. Here's the thing, though.
So listen,
we need as much help as everyone can get. These wonderful ladies that are on this show with me right now, they need assistance, and any assistance anywhere.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you another really sad distraction. This was probably the saddest one. We had a guy. I know both of his sons. He was a retired detective, and he had his own private eye company. He was a private investigator, and he was a professional with photography, and he was a very strong man of faith, and he believed in the paranormal. And we were connecting with him. We were about to ask him onto the team, and he passed away, unfortunately. He was wonderful, and he had those skills. He had those private eye. He actually lives in Suffolk County. You know what I mean? We had him. And it was the saddest thing. I mean, we put a whole post up for him. It was just really. And that's probably the area right now over paranormal that we would need the most help is, can somebody get us to kick the door in and say, hello, come on, open this case. We had a meeting with the detective, and 3 or 4 murders occurred in Suffolk County.
There happen to be lots of body parts deciding to just appear on Long Island.
Yes.
So they haven't been able to really look at the case. I do have a call in for him. He did call me back. I did speak to him, and he told me to give him a call back by next month. and hopefully that he can have some information.
Thank God.
So I haven't stopped. I've been I just even tried, this week. He's out in the field this week. He's not in the office, but I did leave my number again, which he has. So, that I know some people are like, oh, well, do you mind giving your name and your number? I'm like, no. And first of
Okay,
all, I would have been like 5 years
yeah,
old.
3 minutes left. I'd like for you ladies to put out any information you may have, especially to your TikTok that has a long line of videos about your communications in this area. By all means, share that with us.
Okay, so that's Cat Trinity. It's K-A-T and then a second T for Trinity. Cat Trinity is the one for TikTok, and then the rest of them: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That's all. That's all. Oh wait, no.
Well, no, Instagram is.
Go ahead, Courtney. You do it.
Instagram is Trinity_paranormal. YouTube is Trinity Paranormal Investigations of Long Island. And Facebook, the same thing. Anyone on YouTube, if you want to see the case and the videos on the case that we're talking about, we have a playlist and it's titled Murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the videos that we have had so far pertaining to Catherine.
So, go on.
Just to, let you guys know quickly, if you're looking, people are looking for jump scares and anything like that. That's not the team we are. And it might be even boring to some or anything, and we're not looking to excite you. We're trying to solve and to help clients. That is our mission. That's what we do. So these are not going to be jump scares, but these are going to be heartbreaking captures from either it's the spirit's essence, somebody else, another spirit trying to communicate for her, or somebody else.
It's a good point that you brought up, and I'm glad you did, because there are a lot of people out there that are into just the jump scares, and that's not what you guys or girls are into. This is serious. We're dealing with a lost soul, and we need to find peace for this soul. But one thing, I want to thank you two for being on the show. We're literally out of time.
Okay.
But we're gonna have a part 3 coming up next month, so everyone be ready for that. There's a lighting up.
Gonna turn it around. This is the dirt. See the dirty rock? You ready? This is from there. See the quartz?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what's inside all the dirty rocks that are laying on the ground.
Thank you, Sarah.
So imagine that's superly charged already in that area.
Right.
You're going to be able to get a lot of activity going on there.
Thank you, Shane.
It's bombarded. It's bombarded with this. This was just one, and I looked inside.
Thanks, Sam, for coming by.
Just a filthy rock on this side, and then you turn it around, and this is what's inside all
the energy.
Okay.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on to the show. We need to let you go.
You are most welcome. Thank you, Rich. Thank you so much, and thanks everybody for coming on. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your prayers and your good wishes.
We appreciate you all.
So big.
It's our pleasure. So, as I always state at the end of every single one of my shows, live life. Don't let life live you. And peace be still. See you in 2 weeks.
Yes.